Today, huge breaking news. Only XPlay has the first details about E3 2009 and what big changes are in store.
Plus, we're reviewing 3 of the fall's biggest games, LittleBigPlanet, Dead Space, and Fable II. XPlay starts right now. Welcome to XPlay TV's most watched video game show. I am Blair Herder, filling in for Adam Sessler.
And I'm Morgan Webb, and we are coming to you from the G4 Studios in Los Angeles. It's Monday, October 20th, just so you know. Today we've got major news. The first details on next year's E3. You are going to find out the date, the location, and more about gaming's biggest event in just a minute.
And later we hit the rooftops with Mirror's Edge. We're going to show you guys what it's like to chase ghosts in our all-access look.
Then the onslaught of fall games is officially upon us, and we have reviews of Fable II, Dead Space, and LittleBigPlanet. Adorable. But first, let's get all today's top headlines in our gaming update.
Today we have exclusive breaking news about E3 2009. Even though they said it wouldn't happen, the old E3 is making a comeback. XPlay has learned that next year's Expo will return to the Los Angeles Convention Center and with an earlier date. The show is going to kick off on Tuesday, June 2nd and run through Thursday, June 4th. But more importantly, expect attendance to explode into the tens of thousands. Next year's E3 will not have the rigorous vetting process that was instituted in 2006. This time around, a broader range of industry guests will be invited. While the event won't technically be open to the public with ticket sales, this does mean that more people will have a shot at attending. And yes, I'm talking about you. We're going to have more news on E3 2009 tomorrow when the ESA makes their official announcement. And as for the booth babes, there is no official word if they'll be making their return as well. Next, Darth Vader and Yoda are set to square off on a console near you. Namco Bandai has confirmed new downloadable content for both the PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 versions of Soulcalibur IV. Starting on October 23rd, PS3 owners can add Yoda as a playable character for $5, while the Xbox 360 owners will have the option to cash in 400 Microsoft points to add Darth Vader to their lineup. And we have even more news for Soulcalibur fans. If you think you're good at Soulcalibur IV, and not just in the I can beat you as Yoda kind of way, you've got a shot to prove it to the world. This Friday kicks off the Soulcalibur Xbox 360 tournament. The 4 finalists are going to walk away with a brand new EX fighting stick, a special edition of the game, and they're going to be flown out to LA to compete right here live on XPlay. All you got to do is head over to Soulcalibur.com for info on how to register, but do it fast because registration closes this Thursday. Well, that's it for today's gaming update. For the latest news, go to our website, it's g4tv.com/xplay. But now I'm going to ball it up and throw it over to Morgan, who is a world-class spinner box cheater.
And I will catch it. Fable II stands out in the fall lineup, full of Space Marine strategic dismemberment and Motley Crue track packs. This RPG epic has a loyal canine companion, it has STDs, and it has the ability to play fast and loose like Han Solo. In a crowded season with too many games, this journey is definitely worth taking. Here is our review.
It was another age and another time. Peter Molyneux expounded upon the virtues of his amazing new game, Fable. Truly, it was good, but not as good as he said. Cut to this age and this time. Peter Molyneux expounds, albeit slightly less this time around, for his new game, Fable II.
Who better to encapsulate the struggle?
And once again, it's not as good as he said. It's better. As far as art direction goes, Fable II effectively crafts a new and unique world that artfully combines the whimsy of a fairy tale realm with some more traditional and not so traditional elements of medieval Europe.
Feed meat now!
The fact that the varying environments are so well designed across the board definitely makes it possible to lose game time simply exploring your environment. The combat in Fable II is extremely rewarding, giving players the ability to transition from melee to ranged weapon to magic attacks freely during battle. Not only does this make combat more interesting as well as more realistic, well, you know, as realistic as fantasy hand-to-hand combat with magic can feel, it also allows you to increase abilities for a much more well-rounded hero. One refreshing aspect of Fable II is its side quests. So many times these serve as nothing more than filler or something to get you through quickly because you have to. Here, they actually feel worth your time, and while they are many times necessary, they never feel like a chore.
There must be someone around here who'll pay us gold to do something.
The co-op play in Fable 2 serves its purpose well, but it is in no way a deal maker or breaker for this game. Sure, it's cool to invite someone in to check out the world you've created and help you build experience, but honestly, the single-player game is so satisfying that you might just never get around to it.
Bandits!
Early on, Peter Molyneux promised that one aspect of this game that would be the most striking to people is the addition of man's best friend, and you know what? He's not far off. In Fable 2, your dog is an essential component of gameplay, locating items, providing companionship, and even helping in battle depending on how it's trained. Nothing has ever made the hero's journeys that came before it look so lonely as the addition of this character type.
What you need is someone nice to look after you.
Although there are a few cons in this title, there are a few, namely slightly disappointing in-game cutscene animations. They're smoothed over slightly with great voiceover talent, but in a game so visually flawless otherwise, they do slightly stick out. Bottom line, Fable 2 is outstanding. So buy it, choose your hero, then get ready to learn a lot about your own moral compass. Fable 2 gets a 5
Good stuff. Lovely.
out of 5.
What is there to lose, little sparrow?
If you're afraid of heights or vomiting on your friends, and really who isn't, watch out for Mirror's Edge. EA's free-running game encourages you to run high, run fast, and chase ghosts. We've got more in this all-access look.
We recently got a sneak peek of the upcoming Mirror's Edge, and we've got a lot to look forward to.
Mirror's Edge is being developed by DICE, the studio behind the really popular Battlefield series. So they really know first-person shooters. And they wanted to try a totally unique and new type of first-person game, where gunplay wasn't the main focus. So our protagonist is named Faith. And Faith is a very athletic person. She is one of these runners. She is a messenger of information. And her sister has been framed for a crime she didn't commit. So Faith is trying to save her.
One of the unique aspects of Mirror's Edge is the combat, or lack thereof, depending on how you play it.
This game is based on a first-person shooter concept, but we're taking the shooter out of it. As you have the chase, you have the puzzles and the combat, and you can play the game with a gun if you disarm your enemies, or without. It's really up to you how to play the game.
And not surprisingly, speed matters.
Well, not only do we have a really well flushed out story in the game, but there's also something called time trials. And in the time trials, there are sections of the maps that you have to be the absolute fastest. You have to be the fastest person on there. And we have leaderboards, and you can upload your times so your friends can actually download your ghosts. The faster you go, the more stars you can get. And the most stars you can get on one time trial map is 3 stars. So far, very few people have hit those 3 stars. So I'm sending out that challenge right now. I want to see people, as soon as this game goes live, I want to see some 3-star scores on the leaderboard. It's unlike anything else out there. This game is just mind-blowing. It is so awesome. We're really excited about it. We're excited for everybody to get to try it soon.
And try it we will, when Mirror's Edge hits stores on November 12th.
Coming up on X-Play, the Force is strong with Kristen Holt. We've got a Force Unleashed cheat that will give you a more powerful and more dapper Star Killer. Then, meet Sackboy in our biggest little review of the week. It's finally time for LittleBigPlanet. Find out if this do-it-yourself platformer could be a runaway hit for the PlayStation 3. Plus, everyone on Earth can hear you scream. We review Dead Space and tell you whether strategic dismemberment is as awesome as it sounds. All this and more. Keep it locked.
Welcome back to X-Play. Now, years ago, most cheat codes were activated through a password screen and hours of really dumb guesses. Today, you end up paying for them. Thankfully, The Force Unleashed uses the old school system, and Kristen Holt has all the Justin Baileys you're going to need.
I do. Thank you so much, Blair. Today's cheat caters to the fashionable and the lazy. Today, I will show you how to give Star Killer some new duds, even a sharp Stormtrooper getup. Plus, you won't have to worry about any of that leveling business thanks to some maxed out Force powers. Here's what you need to do. Don't worry, Force Unleashed, we haven't forgotten about you. And that's why we're crawling back with a pile of new cheat codes. So let's get to it.
So much to learn about the Force.
You can go ahead and unlock all the Force powers at maximum power with the code KATARN.
Don't make me put you down, boy.
Now that's what I call unleashing the Force to the max. And this dashing Stormtrooper costume is all yours with the code TK421WHITE. Because sometimes it's fun to dress up and pretend you're one of the bad boys. And everyone loves the bad boy. Be prepared to have your mind blown when you enter Mind Trick. This handy code gives you mirrored levels. Next, enter Hurricane. That's with a K, and you can unlock all the lightsaber crystals. Just one little button code, and you have a veritable rainbow of lightsabers at your disposal. It's crazy! That's also with a K. And finally, you can go ahead and unlock the Bail Organa costume by entering the code Viceroy. So give it a shot. It's a costume fit for a Galactic Republic senator, and it's very slimming. So there you go. The fun never stops, and the Force is never leashed when you have cheats. Be sure to check G4TV.com/cheat for the latest tips and tricks. Right now, let's go back over to Morgan with an M.
All right, LittleBigPlanet was supposed to be in stores this week, but it was discovered that a piece of licensed music in the game contained expressions from the Quran. Not wanting to offend anyone, Sony recalled all copies, and a new version should be in stores next week. I know, it's unbearable having to wait another week for the game, but as you'll see in this review, it will be worth the wait. Here's the good news. After 2 years of tantalizing previews, LittleBigPlanet is almost here for your gaming pleasure. Now, here's the bad news. You should prepare to surrender all the free time in your life to this insanely fun and creative experience. So, I guess when you think about it, it's really all good news. At first glance, this may look like a simple platforming game, but one of the things that sets LittleBigPlanet apart is the astoundingly inventive design. Virtually everything you encounter has a very tangible weight and feel. When Sackboy walks on hot sand or slides on ice, you can actually imagine what it would feel like to touch the surface. And the striking design sense helps solidify the experience. LittleBigPlanet looks like they locked 100 CalArts students in a room for a decade and made them create a video game. We do have one gripe with the overall game, and that is the floaty jumping controls. For the most part, the physics in the game are great, but when it comes to piloting Sackboy over complex jumps, prepare for frustration. It's far too easy to undershoot or overshoot jumps. But game makers have reportedly hinted at a patch in the works, and perhaps that will be one of the issues corrected. As you'll quickly learn, the main story mode is only the beginning of your experience. The much ballyhooed level creator is just as versatile as you've heard. Players can build backdrops, add any element they want, and use stickers to decorate. Once you complete the extensive tutorials, you'll understand that this level editor is so robust, you can make just about anything you see in the single-player game. But the fun doesn't stop there. You can upload your own amazing creation so that people worldwide can play. Or if you don't feel like making your own stuff, you can play levels that are created by other fans. Once people get a grasp of the level editor, we can easily imagine them making challenges that are just as good, if not better, than the ones included in the retail box. and there's no cap to how many levels you can download from other players. So, in theory, you could get new content and playtime, well, indefinitely. That's a very long time. Despite our slight gripes, this is an absolute 100% must-buy. It has an excellent story mode, great level building software, and the ability to play and share with your friends. The only people who won't buy this game are those who think it looks too kiddie for them. And honestly, that's a really lame reason to miss out on this amazing treat. LittleBigPlanet is a 5 out of 5. Now, in regards to the kitty thing with LittleBigPlanet, you may see billboards in the cover, and it does look adorable, but the levels get definitely surreal as you get into it, and there definitely is a little bit of an edge to it. So don't even think that it's kiddie, it's for grown-ups, and you have to buy it. Now, as you might have heard, this fall is jam-packed with new releases. Now, all the big franchises are returning, and there are plenty of brand new original titles. The only place you're going to find them all is right here on XPlay.
XPlay's World Premiere Tuesdays continue as we're traveling the globe to take you inside the fall's biggest games like never before. Coming up tomorrow, Guitar Hero World Tour. We've got your backstage pass for this fall's rock and roll extravaganza. We'll take you behind the scenes to reveal the game's extensive set list, the brand new instruments, and the boss battles that will make your fingers bleed. Plus, get the latest on World Tour Studio Mode and see how easy it is to create your own arena-shaking rock anthems. And we'll answer the question, why is Ted Nugent riding a buffalo? Guitar Hero World Tour takes the stage tomorrow night at 8. Then get ready for Resistance 2 on October 28th. And don't miss Gears of War 2 on November 4th. XPlay World Premiere Tuesdays, only on G4. Faces will be melted.
When XPlay continues, we search for survivors and try not to piddle our pants when we review the ultra-scary Dead Space. Stay tuned.
You dub this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life. If you dig this, then you dub this, cause I'm all about the nerd life, word life, yeah. G4 XPlay.
Welcome back to XPlay. Now, if you're looking to spend your nights curled up in the fetal position, but you want to spare yourself the indignity of having to go on a date with me, then have we got the game for you. Dead Space is a survival horror game that encourages you to blow the limbs off your enemies, and that's just the tip of the blood-soaked iceberg. Here's our take on the Outer Space Splatterfest.
Horror movies set in outer space have provided a lot of cliches over the years, and Dead Space doesn't fail to include pretty much all of them, but thanks to the atmosphere and surprisingly fun weapon selection, we wound up enjoying it quite a bit.
Alright everyone, we're here.
You play as Isaac Clarke, an engineer on a vessel which answers a distress call from a fellow mining ship, and then crashes into it. Once you get on board, you realize that the problem is more serious than a busted transmission. How serious, you ask? Yep, that serious. It seems that the ship has been overrun by necromorphs, which is a sentence you never want to hear from your exterminator. Necromorphs are a frightening alien race, which appear in a variety of species, but for the most part they look like rejected concept art from Doom 3. Fortunately, you're provided with an excellent array of weaponry for your pleasure. Our favorite was definitely the Ripper, which lets you guide a table saw blade with pinpoint precision. The upshot is that you can strategically dismember your enemy. This is important, because necromorphs have an unpleasant habit of not staying down, and boy, are there a lot of them. In a lot of ways, the game feels and plays like a spiritual successor to BioShock, but it replays a bit like Resident Evil 4. Like that game, you can replay the adventure with more money and upgrades after completion. This game will be a delight to hardcore survival horror fans. Before you enter a room, you'll find yourself triple checking to make sure you're ready for whatever terrible surprise awaits. And the fact that your heads-up display is built into Isaac's equipment makes the game feel all the more immersive. In fact, that's the best part of the game. Dead Space is able to really put you in the moment in a way few games can. It features some really creepy set pieces, and the close quarters combat is a heart attack-inducing treat. It's a shame that the story is almost too cliche. From mentally unstable survivors,
poison factories,
to people yelling orders at you through high-tech intercoms.
Get to the medical deck and find that rig as fast as you can.
But those gripes aside, we're definitely recommending this for anyone who's ever loved a survival horror game. Great atmosphere, deeply satisfying weapon selection, and wonderfully gory deaths. Who could ask for more? Dead Space gets 4 necromorphs out of 5.
Tomorrow on X-Play, World Premiere Tuesdays get turned up to 11 as we dedicate a whole show to Guitar Hero World Tour. Get ready to rock as we go hands-on with all the new instruments. Then we'll walk you through the music studio and tell you how you can write your own arena rockin' songs. Plus, get ready for some groupies. Find out how to customize your on-screen rocker for maximum stage presence. And meet the real-life rock stars that you'll find in the game. All this and more. The party starts at 8.
So you've been using the polar bear mount that I gave you?
Yeah, I still don't like you.
Awesome.
Up next with another X-Play. You are welcome. We will see you tomorrow. Thanks for watching. All right, it's all right.